Hello and welcome to our third podcast on the Varilux S series. The first podcast focused on nanoptics technology. Podcast number 2 focused on synchronized technology. And here in podcast number 3, we're going to focus on 4D technology. So let's get started. So 4D technology, this is the third technology or the third revolution in the Varilux S series. This is the revolution in personalization. So when we're thinking about 4D technology, we want to remember to keep in mind that 4D technology is all about a level of personalization and taking personalized lenses and personalization to another level. The other key thing you want to remember with 4D technology is that 4D technology is only found in the Varilux S 4D lenses. And these lenses are exclusive for our Visioffice ECPs. So only offices that have a Visioffice unit will be able to measure and prescribe the Varilux S 4D lenses. So if you've seen podcast number 1 on nanoptics and podcast number 2 on synchronized, we highly encourage you to go back and listen to those if you haven't. But what you need to remember here with the Varilux S 4D lens is that it includes all the benefits that you find in nanoptics technology and all the benefits that you find in synchronized technology. And then adding to that is all the benefits that you're going to find in the 4D technology. So it's truly the combination of all 3 technologies working together to bring you the Varilux S 4D lens. So at this point, as you're sitting here, I'm going to ask you to, if you have a pen and paper in front of you, to write, pick it up, write your name. So just, your first name is fine, just write your name, shouldn't take but a second. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do after you're finished writing your name is now switch hands and write your name again. And what you'll be finding is the fact that because we are right or left-handed, it's natural to just pick up that pen or that pencil with your, your dominant hand, your right hand or your left hand, and write your name. You didn't even have to think about it. But when you're asked to switch hands and write with the opposite hand that you're not used to writing with, you'll find that it's more difficult. It takes you longer. You're probably not getting the same performance or clarity out of your name. Some people might not even be able to actually read what they've written. So we like people to kind of go through this when you're training accounts to just get in the mindset of, yes, we do have a dominant hand, a right hand or a left hand. And this is a key thing to keep in mind when we're talking about 4D technology. So our revolution in personalization, just as we're right-handed or left-handed, we also have a leading dominant eye. So you will find that naturally you have a leading dominant eye. You're either right eye dominant or left eye dominant. And over 90% of the population do have a leading dominant eye. And you can see kind of a picture here. We'll get into the measuring for that here in a minute with the Visioffice system. So what do we mean by the leading dominant eye? So what we mean is that the leading dominant eye is the eye that reaches the object being viewed first when we change gaze direction. So when I move my eyes, off to the right or off to the left, it's the eye that sees the object first, and then your non-dominant eye is catching up to your dominant eye. So just for clarification purposes, this is not at all for what people do with contact lenses. We're not going after monovision, or we're not doing a dominant eye based on, which one should see distance and which one should see near. It's completely different. It's all about that leading dominant eye, the one that reaches the object being viewed first when we're changing gaze direction. So we want to make sure that the definition is very clear as we move forward in what we're doing with this leading dominant eye measurement. So if you remember back to our live optics process and the fact that we always test in a virtual environment on real patients, what we did here is that we did an R&D test that tested optical blur on the leading dominant eye and how it impacts visual reaction time. So in a virtual environment using Varilux virtual reality, we had patients looking at different images there was like a flashing light, and it made them change gaze directions. And what we did was we increased optical blur in front of the dominant eye and in front of the non-dominant eye, and we measured visual reaction time. But what we found out here was the fact that when there's any optical blur in front of the leading dominant eye, that's going to slow down your visual reaction time, and you're going to have a larger impact on visual reaction time if there's any optical blur in front of the leading dominant eye versus if there's optical blur in front of the non-dominant eye. We found that if there's optical blur in front of the non-dominant eye, had a minimal impact on your visual reaction time compared to your leading dominant eye. So this was one of those findings we found as we were building our lens design. So now what do we do with this? So by taking into account the leading dominant eye measurement, the design is then altered during that lens calculation process to give the best optical performance for the patient's visual system. So we want to keep in mind that you're already having all the benefits of the nanoptics technology and virtually eliminating the swim effect. You're already having that benefit of the synchronized technology and your two eyes working together as one visual system. But now we're adding that level of personalization on top of this. So what we're doing is we're taking the idea of, now that we know your leading dominant eye, we're altering the lens design to make sure that that optical blur is really removed from the visual area in front of that leading dominant eye for a faster visual reaction time for your patient. So we're customizing and building that personalized design just for your patients and how they use their eyes. So now we have another example. We're going to use a snowboard example, and it's similar to like surfing or skateboarding, but here's how it works. If I was standing and I had someone kind of give me a little bit of a shove from behind, one of your feet is going to come forward to stop you from falling. The foot that you put on the ground first would be your dominant foot. And what is done with snowboarding equipment is that by knowing which foot is your dominant foot, we then build the snowboard versus if you're right foot dominant or left foot or goofy foot dominant, and we build the snowboard so you can have better control, you can have better performance. By knowing which foot is dominant, that's the one that controls your board, that's the one that controls the direction you're going and the speed. So by knowing this, we can build equipment to have a better snowboarding experience. This is what we're doing with the leading dominant eye measurement. We're really making sure we're looking at how a patient's eyes are working naturally and building equipment to accommodate that to give them better visual performance. So what is that result of 4D technology? The result is quicker access to every area of the lens. So because we can see clearly, we have quicker access to every area as we change gaze direction. So we're seeing clearly with every gaze direction. And what does your patient experience? They experience that faster visual reaction time. It means that as a patient and as a progressive wearer, as I shift my gaze direction, I'm able to see clearly and very quickly. So I'm not going to have that split second of a, hold on, I have to refocus, or if I move my head, I have to stop for just that split second to make sure everything comes clear into view. You're going to have clear vision every time you're moving or your eyes are shifting gaze direction. That's what we're meaning by faster visual reaction time. So what we're not saying is we're not saying that your physical performance is going to change. So if you're someone that cannot hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, well, these glasses aren't going to help you hit that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You just might be able to see the ball a little bit better as it goes past you. So it's not going to help that. It's not going to help your golf game. You're not going to physically be able to perform better. You're just able to have that faster visual reaction time. So you'll be able to see better and see faster. So we want to also make sure that you remember as we're talking about this revolution in personalization that the Varilux S 4D lens not only incorporates that unique personalized measurement of the leading dominant eye, but it also takes into account other personalized measurements from the Visioffice system. And these measurements include the ERC or eye rotation center, your natural head posture, how your head sits on top of your shoulders, and your position aware, so your panoscopic tilt and your vertex. So these are the other additional measurements that you will find with the Visioffice system that also are incorporated into this lens. So what is the outcome of 4D technology? The outcome is personalized lenses that cater to the leading dominant eye. And that result of 4D technology gives the ultimate in personalization. It really takes personalization to another level. And what are your patients going to see? What's that patient benefit? They're going to have that faster visual reaction time. So now let's kind of do a little recap on our 3 exclusive revolutions for the Varilux S series. So our first technology was nanoptics, which was our revolution in lens technology, and that includes 4 new pending patents. Our second technology, which was synchronized technology, which is that revolution in lens design, has 2 new patents pending, and then our 4D technology is that revolution in personalization that has an additional 2 patents pending. So collectively with our 3 new technologies, we have a total of 8 new patents pending on this Varilux S series products. In addition, the Varilux S series requires a new manufacturing process. And the Varilux S series, these lenses are the next generation of dual optics lenses, so we are using design elements on both the front side and the back side of the lenses, and it's that combination of the 2 sides of the lenses working together to give you these great designs. But also, and this is kind of an interesting fact, is that we have a S-digital surfacing process within the lab that has an additional 5 new pending patents just on the manufacturing process alone. And the very unique thing about Varilux and the creation of Varilux S series is that as our engineers are designing and developing new lens designs, we actually move forward with what technology we want to deliver to the marketplace, get the design finalized, then we go back and we figure out how are we going to make this, how are we going to manufacture it. So it's really technology and innovation driving manufacturing and not the manufacturing process driving the design process. So that's something unique and different that is exclusive with Varilux and how we bring our lenses to the marketplace. So here's our product portfolio. So we're going to start here on the bottom with our Varilux S design, and this just kind of tells you what's included. So Varilux S design includes the nanoptics technology and the synchronized technology. So these 2 technologies together. And when we move up in the range of lenses, we have the Varilux S Fit, which is our first level of personalization. So that includes your nanoptics technology and synchronized technology, plus position of wear measurements, which is your Panto, Wrap, and Vertex. And then finally, when we move to the top, which is our Varilux S 4D, and this requires the Visioffice system, we not only have nanoptics technology and synchronized technology, plus this position of wear measurements, but also that exclusive 4D technology that has that unique leading dominant eye measurement. So this is our product portfolio and the technologies associated with each of the products. So now, with Varilux S design, wearers test results. So the wearers rated Varilux S design #1 in every lens feature tested and compared to Varilux Visio Enhanced. And these tests included overall vision, distance, intermediate, near vision, dynamic vision, and adaptation. And the very unique thing about this wearers study is that Varilux S design was #1 in every single test when compared to Varilux Visio Enhanced. We already know that Varilux Visio Enhanced outperformed every lens that it was compared to in a wearers study across the board. So Varilux Visio Enhanced has outperformed everything we've ever compared it to. Then Varilux S design has outperformed Varilux Visio Enhanced in every single test, every category. And we've never had a wearer study give us this result before. We've had most of the things where there was a noticeable difference in a very high rating, but not in every single test. So this is really showing how this Varilux S series, Varilux S design lens really outperforms anything on the marketplace today. So now we're going to dive just a couple of slides into the Visioffice, because Visioffice is required for our Varilux S 4D lenses. I just wanted to hit this really quick, that it is required and needs to be in the office. So a lot of our practices already have a Visioffice system today, and they will be getting a kit that has this blue optical localization decal and a Visioffice handheld measuring device. And as you can see right here, this handheld measuring device has sensors similar to the clips that go on the frames, and this will be used in conjunction with the Visioffice to do that leading dominant eye measurement. There will be a kit. There are webinars and training on how this actually works together. It's pretty easy to use the device, and your software upgrade will be pushed out at the end of June. So basically what you do is you use the handheld measuring device and the patient locates that blue locator through the hole in the device, and then it measures whether your patient is left eye dominant or right eye dominant. In this case, they are left eye dominant. So the Visioffice Kit, as I alluded to, will have this, this handheld measuring device, literature, how to use it, and everything you need to get started with the new measurement that's required for Varilux S40. The timing on this, there's in June there are webinars, there's a Varilux S40 launch kit delivery late June, the last week of June, with your Visioffice software update that will be pushed out automatically, and the Varilux S series launch on July the 10th. These, any Varilux S series does count towards your Visioffice rebate program that you currently are receiving, so any of the Varilux S series products you purchase are going against that rebate program. So I thank you for joining us for podcast number 3 on the 4D technology, and encourage you to visit our other 2 podcasts if you haven't on nanoptics technology and synchronized technology. Thank you.